It's Vancouver's Brian Hayes and Big Mike. I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Brian Hayes and Big Mike are taking over the podcast scene in Vancouver. Get down or lay down.
Hey guys, it's Owen Power, and I was just on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hey, I'm Matty Beniers, an NHL prospect, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
My name is Will Macklin, NHL prospect, and I'm on Touch Greatness.
Brent Clark, Barry Colts, NHL draft prospect, and I'm on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Okay. Yeah. Hi, I'm Dylan Gunther, I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Tyler Boucher, and I'm on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Okay. Hey guys, Cole Sillinger here, the Medicine Hat Tigers. Quick shout out to the podcast, I Only Touch Greatness. Guys are awesome.
I'm Matt Coronato, 2021 draft prospect. I'm here on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hi, I'm Brandon Hoffman. I'm from Pickering, Ontario, and this is Greatness Podcast.
I'm Chaz Lucius, and I was just on the Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hi, I'm Xavier Bourgou, and I Only Touch Greatness.
Hey, I'm Wyatt Johnston, 2021 NHL draft prospect and 2021 U18 world champion, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Carson Lambos, play for the Brooks Bandits, NHL prospect, coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Carson, how's it going, buddy?
Hey, how's it going?
Carson, I really want to thank you for coming on today, man. We really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, guys.
Hey, guys. Logan Mailloux from the London Knights, currently in Sweden with SK Leon. 2021 NHL draft prospect on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Nolan Allan, U18 gold medalist, prospect for the 2021 NHL draft, and I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Profer Poldavov, and then I coming I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Shai William. I'm playing for Denver University this season. I'm in the 2021 NHL draft prospect. I'm on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Josh Doan, 2021 NHL draft prospect, and I'm here on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Zack Ostapchuk. I'm an NHL draft prospect. I play for the Vancouver Giants for the Western Hockey League. And Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Scott Morrow, and I'm on the Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hi, I'm Francesco Pinelli for the Kitchener Rangers. I'm an NHL prospect, and I Only Touch Greatness.
My name is Samu Tuomala. I play in Oulun Kärpät. I'm NHL 2021 prospect. I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Logan Stankoven. I wear number 11 for the Kamloops Blazers. I'm a U18 gold medalist and a 2021 NHL draft prospect, and I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Evan Nause. I play for the Quebec Ramparts. I'm a 2021 NHL draft prospect, and I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Tristan Broz. I'm going to be playing at the University of Minnesota, and today I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hey, I'm Colton Dach. I'm going to play for the Saskatoon Blades. I'm an NHL prospect, and I'm on the Only Touch Greatness podcast.
My name's Riley Kidney. I play for the Akibathers Titan, and I'm on the podcast Only Touch Greatness.
So, Grub, if GM or coach was to ask, what do you bring to the table?
I think for me, I'd say just kind of gritty and a bit of skill and play fast centerman, two-way.
I'm Ryan Winterton. I'm a gold medalist for the Canadian under-18 team, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hi, I'm Ayrton Martino. I'm an NHL prospect, and I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Cole Huckins. I play for the Akibathers Titan, and I'm on the podcast I Only Touch Greatness.
Hi, I'm Ben Goja. I'm on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Cam Warnock. I play for the Halifax Mooseheads. I'm an NHL prospect. I'm on the Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Tage Harding with the Fort McMurray Oil Barons 2021 draft NHL prospect, and I'm on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Tristan Lennox, Saginaw Spirit, 2021 draft eligible, and I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
My name is Ville Ottavainen. I play for UP Jyväskylä, and I'm an NHL 2021 draft prospect, and I joined the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hey, I'm Ethan Del Mastro, 2021 NHL Draft Prospect, 2021 World Champion, and I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hi, I'm Jackson Blake. I'm a 2021 NHL Draft Prospect, and I'm on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hi, it's Connor Roulette of the Seattle Thunderbirds, and this is the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Red Savage, and I was on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Jake Chiasson, play for the Brandon Wheat Kings. I'm an NHL prospect in the 2021 year, and I was on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hi, I'm Kyle Masters from the Red Deer Rebels, and I was just on the podcast I Only Touch Greatness.
I'm Jack Batier. I'm a 2021 NHL Draft prospect. I play for the Ottawa 67s, and I'm on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Dylan Duke. I'm on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hey, it's Sean Schgal, play for the Calgary Hitmen. I'm a draft prospect for the 2021 NHL Draft, and this is I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Jack Barr, number 44, play for the Penticton Bees, and I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hi, I'm Manix Landry, captain of the Gatineau Olympics and 2021 NHL Draft prospect, and I'm on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Justin Robidas. I play for the Val-d'Or Force, and it was a pleasure being on I Only Touch Greatness.
Hello, my name is Oskar Jellvik, and I play for Djurgården. I'm an NHL prospect, and I only touch greatness.
I'm Oskar Plandowski with Charlotte Islanders, and I was just on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
All right, I'm Kyle Kukkonen, Madison Capitals forward, NHL Draft Prospect 2021. I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Jack Beck. I'm a 2021 NHL Draft prospect, and I'm a forward for the Ottawa 67s, and I'm joining I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Simon Knak from the Portland Winterhawks. I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Braden Hache, I'm a defenseman for the Kingston Frontenacs. I'm a prospect for the NHL Draft. I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Ty Gallagher, and I was just on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.